Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. This is my Daily News X, and today we're diving into one of the most pressing issues in America right now. The US government shutdown has officially begun. Now, you probably see in the headlines, but let's break it down in plain and everyday's language. What does the shutdown actually mean? Who is impacted? And most importantly, what can you do to prepare if it stretches on longer than expected? But first of all, what is government shutdown really? When Congress fails to pass a budget or temporarily funding bill, federal agencies run out of money. That means many government operations either slow down drastically or stop altogether. Essential services like border security, air traffic control, and Social Security keep running, but millions of federal workers go without pay. Now, if you depend on government programs or benefits, here's what you need to know. Social Security and Medicare checks will still go out, but support staff who handle issues and new applications may be delayed. For SNAP benefits, or better known as food stamps, they could face interruptions if the shutdown drags on. That means families on that extra help at the grocery store may start to feel the squeeze. Veteran services, housing assistance, and childcare programs also risk delays, putting added stress on people who are really already struggling. Now, let's not forget about federal employees themselves, because over 2 million of them will be either working without pay or furloughed until Congress makes a deal. So, the big question is here, guys. What can people do to prepare for the worst? Well, here's a few practical steps you can take in order to you get ready for this. And number one, something that you can do is stock up on essentials. I'm not saying panic buy, but if you depend on a SNAP or other programs, it is smart right now to plan ahead with shelf-stable foods and basic household supplies. Budget wisely. Cut back on essentials spendings. If a benefit check is delayed, or if your paycheck is frozen, you want to stretch up your dollars. Build an emergency cushion, meaning even setting aside $20 or $30 a week if you can makes a difference when bills piles up. Check your local resources, also known as community food banks, nonprofit groups, even churches often step up into help when government assistance slows down. Don't be afraid to reach out to them. Stay informed. Know where your benefits stand. Agencies often post updates online, and many states run their own programs that can bridge the gap temporarily. So here's the bigger picture. The shutdown doesn't just affect those directly on government payroll or programs, it ripples through the entire economy. When federal workers stop spending, that means local businesses, from restaurants to gas stations, see fewer customers. Contractors lose income. Travel and tourism slow down because services like passport processing grind to a halt. I'm one of those who had issues with one of my kids' passport, and I had to send it back because it was a mistake in the last name, and it took almost like a month in between to get it done. So I was just in timing. And for many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, even a few weeks without reliable income or benefits can push families into debt or eviction. Now, here's the crack question for you guys. How prepared are you if your income or benefits were delayed or even 1 month? It's something most people don't want to think about it. But in times like this, it is critical to face the reality head on. If you're listening today, take this as a moment to pause and check yourself. Do you have at least a few weeks of food, medicine, and emergency savings set aside? If not, start with the small steps. Preparation doesn't have to mean fear, it means resilience. All right, so what is my final thoughts on this, guys? Well, obviously, the US government shutdown is here. And while the politicians argue in Washington, everyday people are left to carry the burden. If you rely on Social Security, SNAP benefits, housing aid, or if you work for the federal government, know that the shutdown could create real challenges in the days ahead. But preparing now, leaning on community support, and staying informed, you can navigate throughout with a little more stability. Well, guys, this is all for today, guys, on my episode Daily News X. Please stay safe, stay prepared, and remember, knowledge is power. Until next time, I'm your host, Kramer, and this is my Daily News X.